Hi, Du.
Hi.
First of all, thank you for being our interviewee. And before we start, can you introduce yourself and tell us where you're from?
Okay. My name is New. I'm from the U.S. and I'm an exchange student at IHWA. And I'm a junior. That's it. I've been in Korea for 10 months.
Thank you, Du. Let's start our interview. Here's our question. When I was in America, I sometimes felt that I am treated differently as Asian Americans. Although I felt I was totally friends with girls in my class, I heard that some girls talking behind my back because I have different skin color. And even my teachers did that too. I felt there was this huge wall that I cannot overcome. How do you think about this, that Asian Americans cannot be true Americans? Can you tell us similar experiences or your opinion?
I think Asian Americans can be true Americans because America is like a country where it's like a mixing salad. That's what they call it. It's like everyone from every different country comes together, mix blend in. But the thing about Asian people is that they tend to be close-knit communities. So like most Korean people stay together, Chinese food together.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things prevents them from being true Americans. But I think it's possible. There's a lot of stereotypes about Asian Americans. Asian students are very studious. They always study.
Yeah.
They do really well in SAT, ACT. So that's one of the stereotypes about them. But I think outside of the classroom, they tend to stick together. So that's one of the things preventing them. In my personal experience, because I'm Hmong, which is a ethnic group from Laos, and one of the problems is in my university last year there was an incident where the law professor talked about he stereotyped Hmong people as Hmong men as people who mistreat their wives. So there was a big debate about that, and then it turned into this big issue, and there was a protest at my school about it. So it's more about being willing to accept other people, and that's it.
Thank you for telling us your true story, your true mind. Then I feel sometimes that even though I have someone have American citizenship, they cannot be true Americans because there is Chinatown, Koreatown. Though they are living in America, I think they are not American.
Not American.
Yeah. In back to America, did you also stay in
group?
Yeah.
Because my culture is really small culture, and I grew up in the U.S. So I went to the U.S. when I was 1. So my whole life is really Americanized, and throughout my high school years, I spent a lot of times with American people, not with my own group people. So they kind of thought I didn't like Asian people for a while, but it's who you hang out with, but it doesn't really matter, I think. One of the problems is that a lot of Asian Americans are losing their culture. So it's kind of do you want to keep your culture or not? For me, I'm Hmong, and I can speak my language, but I am losing part of it. So it's kind of I would speak to my parents because they speak my language all the time at home, but at home I speak half the time in English. So it's more do you want to keep your culture? You want to preserve your culture, but you also want to be part of the American society.
That must be confusing.
Yeah, so it's a cultural identity crisis kind of.
Okay. So thank you so much for telling those stories.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.